It was just one of those things, one of those bells that now and then rings. It was.
We've got full singing this morning.
You
not
what?
Just a,
You what?
not just a theme tune.
Put your phone away.
But I just learned that macadamias have good fat. You have no idea what's going on in the world.
Is that
Yeah?
a country?
No. It's nuts.
I'm sure it is.
No.
Confused.
It's nuts.
What?
I'm looking at healthy food.
You're looking at food.
I'm not looking at food.
She's not
I'm
even
looking
out
at
of bed.
healthy food. To see what I'm going to cook for this family today.
Oh, you're going to cook macadamia nuts?
No, I don't
What?
have any. But now I know they've got good fat.
Oh,
Next
you
time I
could
can
go
buy
out and
them.
hunt for them.
Yes, yes. I almost bought flaxseed yesterday, but I didn't want to push it.
Who?
Flaxseed.
What's that?
Uh,
What's that? What's that?
It's the
What's
brown.
that
It's
when
the
it's in
brown seeds that become all slimy when you put them in water.
Oh, slime, you mean?
No, I mean flaxseed. Linseed is also called sometimes.
What? That's what you put on baseball bats and cricket bats and things.
Yeah? Linseed oil.
Linseed oil.
Yeah.
It used to, you used to, I mean people used to.
Uh-huh.
Used to rub it on their cricket bats. I don't know why.
Or maybe to keep them greasy?
Why would you need a greasy bat?
I don't know, don't ask me. I'm not a sporty person. I don't know what people do with their bats in their free time.
I have no idea either.
Grease them up, obviously.
Sand them
linseed
down,
is,
maybe.
linseed is very good for you, supposedly.
It's
So
been
good for
rubbed
you.
into a bat which has been used to clobber you
It's good for your
senseless.
hinges, I think.
What?
Hinges.
Excuse me.
My hinges are creaking.
I'm looking for something that's good for me hinges. You got anything?
Yeah, linseed's supposed to be good.
Yeah, here's a crowbar.
Yeah, and I found that stuff that I get in Holland.
What? You shouldn't fucking go to Holland. What are you talking about?
Good every Tuesday. What are you talking about?
What?
The stuff that I get in Holland and Barrett.
Oh,
The
the health food shopee.
Yeah, I found it in the supermarket. So I'm
Yeah.
going to do a price comparison next time.
Oh, excellent. So lunch is going to be macadamia nuts, linseed oil, and what was the other thing you mentioned?
I'm talking about the hemp powder.
Oh, great, great. That'll be all filling. Right. All
Good for you. It's good for you.
all filler, all killer.
No, I don't know what lunch is going to
What
be.
kind of laugh was that?
That was a forced laugh because you weren't funny.
I wasn't funny. I'm not funny most of the time, surprisingly.
Yeah, I know that's why I got my first laugh down to a point of geniusness.
That's not a word.
Yes, it is.
Geniusness.
I just said it. When you say something, it becomes a word. Like, blah.
That's
for
not a word
example.
either.
Yes, it is.
That's a sound.
It's an onomatopoeia.
That's a word.
There you go.
That's a long word.
You know what's really funny? When you say it in Slovak,
What?
onomatopoeia.
I don't say it in Slovak. I don't know how to say it in Slovak.
In Slovak, it sounds exactly the same, only there's an E at the end. And when you say it real slow, it becomes onomatopoeia, 4 words. And it means, it eats me. Onomatopoeia in Slovak means it eats me.
You what?
Or it
No?
will eat me.
It will eat me.
Yes.
That
That's really
That's-
we had a lot of fun with that at school.
that's odd. That's really odd.
What's that? Onomatopoeia. Run!
That's those people who made that language were obviously not
Obviously very
Normal.
trippy.
trippy people.
I don't
Can you-
think there were people who made that language.
You
I
have
think
this.
that language was
You've got the nervous Facebook disorder.
nervous is that a thing.
It is now because
It's
once
an
you say it, it becomes real.
NFD.
What?
Is it NFD?
It would be NFBD.
Well, where's my fidget ball? I bought a fidget ball specifically for fidgeting, and it's not here.
Well, where did you leave it?
I don't know.
Well,
Whatever I fidgeted with
well,
it.
why didn't you leave it in the place where that you knew that you could find it if you wanted it?
Because I can leave it in a place where I know I will find it when I want it, but then the kids come and have completely different plans with it. Because they like to fidget on their own.
Well, you should have bought more fidget balls.
Ugh.
I should have bought a
Colour
whole
code
collection and given one to everybody, and then they could have had their own fidget balls.
Do you know what was really funny?
No.
We came to the dentist yesterday and Will sat down in a chair and the lady took out the fidget ball that was exactly like my fidget ball, only slightly bigger and blue.
Well, then it wasn't like your fidget ball at all.
And she gave it to Will and she said, "Hey, have a fidget ball." And he fidgeted with it.
Oh,
And I
okay.
thought, hey, that was my idea to take a fidget ball to the dentist.
There's no such thing as a fidget ball. What are you talking about?
Well, that spiky rubbery thing that you use for massaging your feet.
That's a weird experience. That's a weird. Why don't they make shoes like that? Why don't they make shoes with those kind of inner soles that massage your feet?
But you just strap a ball to your foot and walk around.
Oh yeah, I don't know why more people don't do that. Oh no, wait a minute, because the accident and emergency ward would be full permanently.
Yeah, that's why they don't make shoes like that.
I'm not saying the shoes should be shaped like a ball, but they should have those rubbery,
Spiky thingies.
spiky thingies. I was thinking more like tentacle-like thingies.
Oh, you think the tentacle like? That would be very, very short tentacles then. That'd be like fatter
was-
than shorter.
He was a really nice guy, but I just couldn't stand his short tentacles, said the octopus.
Mm,
There you go.
there you go. The octopus has no idea. It's not about the size of the tentacles.
It's how many you have.
Uh-huh. Exactly. Ah! Oh,
You-
genius.
Are you alright?
Ah! Look, I
What?
found it.
Jesus, did you just pull that out of
The wazoo.
your zoo? What?
The wazoo. No, I just
Which
pulled it.
zoo?
No, I've got a secret stash of pile of things.
In your wazoo?
No, down there under my bed.
What?
I've got a secret stash of things.
I've noticed there's
under
a
my bed.
pile,
Yeah.
and I was scared to touch it because
Yeah.
it's obviously organized into a
Yes.
perfectly untidy pile.
Yes. It is totally. And you can find treasures in there like fidget balls and hairbrush, and there's a sock.
Hairbrush. A hairbrush is not a treasure.
Oh yes, it is when you've got hair. I know it's not treasure for you because you don't have hair, but when
Fuck
you've got
you.
hair, you can be in a serious need of a hairbrush. And when there's nothing around, it can drive you crazy. And there's also this. Look, something for you to fidget with.
I don't need to fidget.
A person. What do you mean? You keep fidgeting with that bloody pen.
I'm not. I'm writing things down
Oh,
so
is
that I
that
don't
what it's
forget them.
called?
Yes. You might not be aware of this art called writing, as you're always
I thought you were just
tapping your
fidgeting
fingers
with a
on,
pen and
on
paper.
a keyboard. What have you given me?
It's a person. It's a little bendy person.
It reminds me of every person I met as a student who took too many drugs.
It's a
It's bald at the back as well.
well, it's got its age.
Sage?
Don't judge it.
What?
Don't judge him.
The legs are odd. They're
They're
different.
bendy.
Most legs are bendy. But not in this kind of way.
Well, they bend both ways.
Look,
Kind of. What?
his hands have been replaced with stumps.
It's like yours.
Stumpy. I call him Stumpy. Hey, Stumpy. It's one of those unisex dolls. You can't tell if it's
It's a boy.
what?
It's a boy.
How'd you know?
Because it's got blue pants.
Because if it was a girl, they would be pink, right?
Well, if it was a girl, it would have a pink skirt. Don't you know?
Chin? What? No? Hello?
Besides,
Look,
doesn't have long hair.
he's got a very big smile on his face, though.
Oh yes,
This
because
little character here.
he's seeing you and he thinks, hurrah, hurrah.
Oh look,
he sees me."
oh look, the arms are connected through the body. Like if I move one arm, it moves the other arm in the same way.
Yeah, no. Isn't that so cute?
No,
Look, he's
it's
so happy
kinda
to see you.
It's kind of scary. And I'm a winner! Yeah!
Yeah, he's just happy to see you.
I like the way the nose is an upside down mouth.
Is that your anatomy observation? Number 37.
It is, look, because
The
if
nose
you put
is
your
an
finger,
upside down mouth.
if you put your finger over the mouth, the nose would look like an unhappy face. see, told you.
Oh God, that is funny.
There you go. But ta-da! And then I move my hand, and it's all happy again.
Could be a double chin. Maybe it's not a smile at all. Maybe it's a double chin. Maybe he's unhappy because he's got a double chin.
Maybe he's.
What are you taking his clothes off?
I'm curious to
What
see.
are you looking for?
I'm curious to see how he's fixed together.
You're curious to see if it's a
I'm
boy
not-
or
I'm
a
not-
girl.
No, I'm curious to see how he's fixed together. Maybe I can learn something.
About anatomy. You should start writing notes. Somebody will find it 300
Actually,
years later.
I've gone quite fond of this in the last 2 minutes. It's quite nice.
See?
I might fix it to the dashboard of the car.
Did what?
That was a rap.
You're not supposed to fix people to dashboards.
Well, I don't mean like face down. I mean like fix his feet to the
But
dashboard
just
and
doesn't
have
really
him as
matter
a
which
mascot.
way you fix it.
Oh, look, if you,
Yes, you can dance. See,
I thought he was
and
fighting.
now you're fidgeting. There you go. I just created you a... I just made you.
You can
Wait.
dance.
What's the word? I just turned you into a fidgeter by
No.
giving you a fidget toy.
No, I'm just doing this to make you feel at home.
Me?
Yeah. The ball is better than fidgeting with your phone.
Well, that's why I've got it to fidget with.
Did you really
Because
actually buy?
the
Do
phone-
you know what that is?
The phone was stressing you out.
Do you know what that is?
What?
Actually,
A ball.
do you know what it's used for? Obviously, it's a fucking
Yes.
ball. What?
It's used for massaging your feet and fidgeting.
No,
Yes.
it's a dog toy.
Oh, shut up.
I know what I'm talking about.
You know what? I was talking to your dad about this, and we were laughing at it together. Because
You were laughing at the ball.
Yes,
That's
because we
weird.
realized that it's one product that somebody makes and then markets it like many things. Like, somebody's making these rubber balls, and they market them as dog toys, fidget toys, and feet massagers. And then this toy came in with the other toy, the plastic one with longer spikes. And somebody creates the plastic balls and markets them as foot massagers and dryer balls. It's such
Are you telling me that dry balls are a product?
dryer.
Well, yeah, obviously
dry.
some are more dry than others, right?
No, the stuff that you throw into your dryer, apparently to, I don't know to do what. I have no idea what function it has in the dryer.
Well, let me guess.
It's supposed to soften.
It helps dry things.
It's supposed to soften the dried things or something like. Oh look, something like that.
It fits perfectly in the top of your glass. I
Uh-huh.
wouldn't drink from it like that, though.
Yeah. It's like it's meant to be there. Isn't it?
No. don't push it into the glass, because the glass is like a, what kind of shape is that? Conical?
I think so, yeah.
Did I just make up that word?
No, you didn't.
No, that is a real word. A
Mm-hmm.
real word. Conical.
Yes, yes, and it's also round at the bottom.
That's what you need. Round bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
You're not drinking the coffee.
Mm-mm. I need you to.
What? What? Something's just grabbed my leg. I'm being abandoned. Abandoned. I'm being left all on my own. The trials of life. I guess I have to pause it and wait for returns to normality. Where's the pause button? And
We're back. Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, what's your plan for today?
Yes,
Yes.
it's clear.
Yes.
Well, I'm doing it.
Yes.
I got up.
Yes.
Would you stop repeating the same word? Just repetitively, as that's what repeating means. And
That was really. Yeah. Okay.
stop it.
Go on.
You're turning into my mother, who just says, "Yes, but that's okay." At the end of everything.
I
At
didn't
the end
say.
of everything.
Didn't say that. I just wanted to say that was a really bad adverb used in that sentence, but I didn't want to be all negative. But
bad
now I
verb.
am. Bad verb. Yes, that was a bad verb. Lots of adverbs are bad verbs, but this one was exceptional.
An exceptional bad verb.
Yeah.
There you go. That should be the title of a rap song.
No, it shouldn't.
No?
No.
There's a bear sitting on a dog.
What was just looking at those friends over there? The bear with the reindeer.
Big Ted.
Yeah.
Big
I
Ted
just
and
thought they
reindeer.
looked so jovial.
That sounds like a Southern American rock band.
What?
Big Ted and the Reindeer.
It does.
Yeah, you could imagine them playing Sweet Home Alabama. Round and round.
You can.
Mm.
There is a bear sitting on a dog.
I told you.
It's just disturbing.
It is a little bit.
Why did you do that?
What?
Why did you do
What do you
that?
mean, why did I do that? It's got nothing to do with me. It just reminds me of Jazz sitting on me.
Oh God. Or anybody else for that matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
She just thinks that she just tend to think that everything is a mode of transport.
Oh, she's so cute and terrifying at the same time.
She's so strong. She's so incredibly strong.
She's also strong-willed.
Doesn't want to give up.
That's good.
A more stubborn child you have never seen.
Oh God. Yep. Very stubborn. Have you heard any screaming 2 days ago in the middle of the night?
In the middle of the night.
Because it was midnight,
Was it?
and I took her to bed.
That's late.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to work, and she kept getting out of her bed and coming to me and saying, "Mommy, but I want to stay awake with you." And I said, "Jasmine, but I want to stay awake without you because I need to work." She said, "But I will work too." And then I realized that there's not going to be any work done after a few days but hours. So I went to bed with her. But she said, "But I don't want to go to bed." And I said, "But I do." And she said, "But I don't. I'm going to stay awake."
Mm.
And I turned the light off, and then she became upset because she wanted to play. And then she started screaming around midnight, and the whole house.
I didn't wake
It's a good thing
up
that
at all.
Yeah, that's a good thing that your mother can't hear anything, because she would have been woken up.
You know, I sympathized with Zora last night when she came downstairs and said, I can't sleep. I'm not tired. And she didn't look tired. She didn't look like she wanted to sleep. I kind of think saying just go to bed and try to sleep anyway. I don't think hello. I don't think that's really like a kind of positive suggestion
No.
at that point in time.
Well, I don't
Because
know.
they're expressing the fact they can't sleep, and you might as well just get up and do something. Like I don't know, anything, draw a picture, read a book.
Well, that's why I suggested. I said, why don't you read a book in your bed? But she's not going to feel any more sleepy if she runs around the house and in the light, and I mean.
Yeah, and as she can't read anyway, it's a bit of a redundant suggestion.
Oh, for crying out loud! You know what I meant? I meant look at the pictures. I mean, I've seen her going through books and looking at the pictures before.
Mm-hmm.
That's why obviously I didn't mean read.
But you said read. Look at the pictures in something. Fair enough. Anyway,
Yes.
yeah, I just thought that.
Yes. It just
Mm-hmm.
also she go exactly. You know why she did that? Because she wanted to do this.
Yeah, and then she fell
What she's
asleep.
doing.
Well, sleeping in the big bed.
She just wanted to sleep with you. Ever since the beginning, she wanted to sleep with you.
Well, as long as she's sleeping, it's okay.
Yes, but it would have been nice for me to sleep in my own bed for once.
It would have been. Although you did get a bed all to yourself.
I did.
I mean, that's nothing to poke fun at.
I kind of like to sleep in my own bed, though. So weird. Also, I was thinking about it last night, and you know how I told you about how differently we treat the kids, right?
Yes.
And I just remember that Will was 5 when Jasmine was born. He was 5 when he was banished from the bed by you for sugarling. And I remember he didn't like it very much. But he's been banished.
Yeah, but that was absolutely necessary to preserve the sanity of the universe. And to
He's
get any sleep at all.
He's been banished since 5. Yeah, but
Yeah, but look, she doesn't sugar. She just lies down and goes to sleep. Will was like a I don't know, sugar monster. I don't know what he was like.
he was a bit hyper while
It was
he
like a
was
reindeer on acid.
Yeah, well, it's different for you because she's not actually in your bed.
She is
Because-
now.
Well, no.
What?
Because when she sleeps on my half of bed. So I've got like 20 centimeters for myself, right?
That's enough.
And then there's Zora. And
Mm.
you've got the entire half of your bed for yourself. It's like nothing changes for you, right?
That's not true. That's not true. The number of times I've had 20 centimeters of the edge of the bed, or no duvet, or no blanket, and I just you just rough it out anyway, right?
I don't know. Well, just pointing
I
out.
do. You don't know. I do.
I'm just pointing out that that's just another way in which Will had to grow up faster than the girls.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about last night with the tidying up. Yeah, where I think it's just a natural situation where the older child is more responsible and does much more of the work in tidying up. I don't think it's it's not obviously not great that the younger girls don't help much, but I think that's just the stage that they're at. I think they're going to go through this helping
stage,
less.
though. That's my
and then it's going to
my
build up to
point
helping
is
more.
that my point is that it's not a stage. It's not a stage. I mean, look at the statistics, right?
What statistics for tidying up?
You look at the it's not statistics for tidying up. Statistics for life. You look at statistics of siblings, and you find out that
That's a
the
good book title.
firstborn, or the eldest children, end up in higher positions, in leading positions, become managers, and blah blah blah, because
Is
they
that
have
true? I
been.
didn't know that was true.
Yes, that's true. Yes, they get higher in life or in their career because they have learned early in their life to take responsibility for things and to lead. And younger siblings usually get not as far in their career life. They do not become leaders or managers as often as the older siblings, because they're just used to not taking responsibility for themselves or anybody else, and they are followers. And I want to mitigate that. I would like each of my child to learn to take responsibility for themselves. And I know I'm talking about, I'm a middle child. I'm from 3 children, okay. The statistics for only children, just so you can put it into perspective with yourself, the statistics for the only children are that they are even higher achievers than the firstborn. So it's like only children, then firstborn, and then everybody else. I
So
saw that
I'm a
it's
high
like
achiever.
it's like the I saw statistics about U.S. astronauts, right? And it was something like out of 11 U.S. astronauts, 9 of them were firstborn, right? And that's what I was talking about yesterday, that it's not just a stage, it's something that's going to drag with them their entire formative years. And you yourself said that the first 5 years are the most formative years, right? When children form their entire model of whatever, right? And by by 5 years old, Will was already scolded for whatever problem there ever was with their sisters, right? It's like, you should have been taking care of them. So I don't know. I just feel like we're not having, or we're not making Zora taking as much responsibility as we've had Will taking.
Yeah, I don't think that Will was, specifically scolded. I think the logic of the situation was pointed out, where if something was dangerous, then somebody could be hurt.
Yes, but I remember
at the same time, I think that correlation is often not causation, so you have to be careful with linking those things together.
I remember specifically, you telling him that he's supposed to take care of his sisters and he's supposed to be responsible for his sisters, blah blah blah. And I don't remember that you telling that to Zora. You're supposed to be responsible for your siblings or whatever.
Yeah, maybe you just haven't been there when it's happened, but it's happened.
Okay, maybe I just haven't been there.
Yeah, I mean, in what situation would I not tell Zora that she has to take care of her sister because her sister is younger and doesn't know as much as she knows about something?
No, because when Will is there, Will gets it again.
Look,
you know what I mean?
But it's natural. It's natural. Those with more experience naturally are put in a position where they have to look out for those with less experience. It's absolutely natural.
I understand that it's absolutely natural, okay? I get it. But when will ever Zora be in a position when it's her responsibility?
But I just gave you that example.
The fact that we're homeschooling them and they're always together, they're almost always together, it always falls on Will, right? Naturally, because he's the oldest. But you want to create situations where Zora has the opportunity to take responsibility for herself.
Well, I do that regularly, so I don't see a problem with that. when the two girls are together, which they are a lot because Will does his own thing, or he reads, or he builds something out of Lego, or he plays with his tablet, or he's doing something else. Yeah, the girls are in that kind of situation. They're playing together, which they do often, and it's natural in some circumstances to remind the older child that they have to be a leader. It just happens naturally. It's all part of the process. There's nothing you can do about it. This this quest for equality of experience is nice, but you have to balance it with the facts of the situation. That perhaps the youngest child is always going to get a slightly more raw deal in some areas, the same way the oldest child is going to get a slightly more raw deal in some areas. Let me give you an example. Let's say the firstborn gets or should get a lot of focus and attention. Probably more in the first, say, 2 years than the second-born or the third-born. Naturally, just because of time division. Yeah, where the firstborn is the firstborn, they're the only child, they're the only focus. The second-born gets slightly less focus because you still have to focus on the firstborn as well, and that can work both ways, but in general it's like that. And then the third-born is like, well, you have to divide your time between the three kids, but obviously you give slightly more attention to whichever child is the youngest at that point in time, because they are more needy. And so there's always going to be this relevant imbalance in the dynamic of what children's experiences are because of the order in which they're born. And I'm pretty sure that you're not going to find any family, or that's an extreme statement, so let's say 90% of families, if you interview the children of large families, each child is going to tell you about the negativity of their experience because of their position. Like the oldest is going to point out the negatives of being old, the one in the middle is going to point out the negatives of being left out because they're in the middle, and the youngest is going to talk about just getting things handed down from the other kids. So those are all negative elements which naturally exist.
Yes, I understand that, but there's nothing wrong with trying to mitigate all the negativity. There's nothing wrong in trying or being aware of these things and wanting to balance things a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Well, that's all that my points were about.
And I think if you're aware of it, you don't necessarily have to try to balance it, because you don't have to try because it's natural. Right?
Well, no.
It is, because
no, it's not.
Let me give you an example.
Just because you were aware of something, it's not natural that you're already balancing it.
Well,
you always have to make a conscious effort.
Okay, I'm assuming that intelligence exists, and if you see one child with one apple and two children with no apples, that you are intelligently processing in your mind, okay, let's divide the one apple into 3 parts and give everybody equal parts or something, right? I'm just imagining that already exists. That
obviously.
That you don't have to focus too much on that area or that element.
No, but what I do have to focus on is not telling the oldest child, go and get some apples for your sister, just because that would be the easiest thing to do, okay? Just because I know that he will listen to me. Just like we should focus not to hold him responsible for tidying up, just because we know that he will listen to us. Because it's easier. I mean, it's easier to get Will to tidy up than it is to get Zora tidy up, isn't it? So you have to be aware of that, and you have to make sure that you're not just making it easier for yourself, but by putting more responsibility on the older child.
Yeah, you're also... No, see, I agree with that. You could go too much the other way as well, and trying to put the second child in the position of the first child would also be a mistake. You can help people to realize things and understand it, but you can't change the way things are. So
Yes,
the
but
the,
if
the, the
you're
other thing is the other thing is that I don't see an obviously positive way of redressing the balance without there being some other negative consequence. I mean, how would you talked about like mitigating the dependence upon the older child.
Mhm.
So what practical steps would you do to ensure that this was done in a fair way? Because I'm not, there's things that I would do, but I'm not sure that they don't have other unintended consequences.
For example,
Well, that was my example to you, right? I mean, that was my question to you. What would you do?
well, I gave you a suggestion yesterday that each of
Can't
them
remember.
should have their own responsibilities to take care of.
Do you
For
think that would
example.
work?
Well, if you factor in the age, right? Obviously, well, I mean, I explained that to your mum the other day, right? I explained to your mum the other day that she can expect William to tidy up when she tells him, "We'll tidy up this area," but she can't expect Zora to do that because she still gets overwhelmed by the mess and she doesn't know where to begin, and she needs help tidying up. You know, I was explaining that you have to factor in the age, right? So if you factor in the age and the fact that they need help, I think that they should all have their own responsibilities. Not a group responsibility, because if you give them a group responsibility, sometimes that's good for teamwork, but sometimes it's just frustrating because William doesn't have the mental capacities or any capacities to make his sisters do teamwork. You know, he can't. He can try to manipulate them. Okay. He can try to manipulate them to do what he wants them to do, but that seldom works.
But isn't most parenting manipulation?
I'm not talking about parenting, I'm talking about William. He's not a parent.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
But
a lot of getting
I'm
people
trying
to do
tell
things
you
in
that,
any situation is manipulation.
and I'm trying to tell you that he can't do that, right? So if you take a team and you say, "Okay, team, go and tidy up this area," or "Go and do this," or "Go and do that," you are already assuming in that Will is going to be the leader of the team, that he's responsible for it, he knows he's responsible for it, and he knows that if the girls decide that they're not going to help him, he'll have absolutely no tools to make them help him, and therefore he's going to do all the work by himself. And that's the dynamic that I have a problem with.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Explain. Yeah, I understand that you have a problem with the dynamic. I'm not exactly sure what is the, let's say, the unnatural element of the problem.
That Will is made responsible for something that I should be responsible, for example. Right? I should be responsible for leading the girls and making them tidy up, or helping them learn how to tidy up the areas, right? It's not Will's job. It's my job.
Yeah, but who's saying it's Will's job? I mean,
because Will is just, because if you make one team, yeah, and tell them all, "Okay, you all are going to tidy up this living room," then the girls are not learning how to tidy up because they know they can just sit back and relax because Will's going to do it himself. And so it's not giving anything positive to Will, it's not giving anything positive to the girls.
What element of... So what element that you're describing is unnatural?
I'm not saying it's unnatural, I'm saying it's negative.
So you're saying natural is negative?
No, you're just generalizing now.
I'm trying to understand. I'm not. I'm
I
trying to
didn't. I didn't
understand.
put in natural at all. I'm not talking about natural or unnatural. I'm just telling you that it is negative for Will and it is negative for the girls. It's negative for Will that he has to assume responsibility for everything by himself, and it's negative for the girls that they are not learning how to take responsibility for themselves. I'm not saying if it's natural or unnatural because I don't give a damn if it's natural or unnatural.
But I think it's important to recognize whether a process is natural or unnatural, because if you spend a large amount of time trying to alter that which is natural, again, you can have a lot of negative consequences.
I'm saying it's lazy parenting. I'm saying that you're putting your responsibilities onto your son when you do that.
You would if you did that all times in every situation.
Well, it happens often enough. You have to be aware of it. That's all I'm saying, Jeez. You have to be aware of it, and you have to realize that, and you have to realize that you should be mitigating it.
Okay, what's the difference between what you described and setting a good example? Because this is what I would say to Will. And this is what I actually do say to Will. That it's important that you set an example for your sisters so that they know what to do and how to act and how to react.
Do you say that to Zora?
I say that to Zora, that it's impossible. I use different language with her because she's younger. Yeah, I say that it's important for her to lead her sister in the right direction.
Does she do that?
Yes, she does.
Does she?
Yes, she does.
Because all I've seen in the last week was Jasmine following Zora.
Mm-hmm.
None of them cooperating, but I think it's coming from Zora. That Zora just decided she's not going to be helpful at all. She's not going to cooperate at all. And therefore Jasmine is not helpful at all. She's not cooperating at all.
Whoa, slow down.
And nothing's happening.
I've seen elements of that, but that's maybe 10-20%. Most of what I've seen them do is play together in a cooperative and understanding way.
Having a fight every 5 minutes.
I think that's part of their
Cooperative way.
yeah, playship. I would call it.
You'd call it playship. You'd call it annoying.
Yes, because I do find myself regularly saying, "Girls, please stop fighting." most of the time, they actually do stop.
For about 2 minutes.
Yeah, they actually do stop most of the time. We make the problems out to be bigger than they are, right? Because maybe they stop 9 times out of 10, but you remember the time that they don't stop more because it affects you more. Because like when things are good and things flow, people just get on with whatever they're doing. But it's the disruptions that disrupt people naturally. So I think there's a tendency to focus on the negative too much. I see Will leading his sisters in what I would say is a natural way. I see Zora leading Jazz in what I see is a natural way. I see Jazz looking up to her brother and sister in what I think is a natural way. Now, are there imbalances that occur? Yes. Should parents be aware of over-depending upon the older children? Yes. And being aware of it is beginning the process of redressing the balance. And so I don't think any of it is unnatural if you live in a state of awareness. Can it always be better? Yes. Is it frustrating for the older child that the younger children don't help out as much as they should do? Yes. Do parents let the younger children get away with things more? Yes. All of these things are natural and yet at the same time problems to be solved. And I don't see anything that's happened as unnatural. And I like your approach of trying to be more aware of it and to ensure that the younger kids get more responsibility and the older child gets more freedom, and there's not an unfair task orientation there. I think that's all good. And I think it would be much worse if you didn't focus on that and were not aware of that. That would be, that would just be dependence, and that would be wrong because you want the children to learn independence. So, yes, it's important to be aware of all those elements. And when you're parenting, do you choose the easy option sometimes, and is it wrong? Yes. Yeah, because
yes, that's all I want to do. That's all I wanted to point out is you have to be aware of things and you have to try to balance it. Another example is, Zora, please do this, and Zora doesn't do anything, and she acts like she didn't hear you. So what you do is you turn to Will and say, Will, please do this.
I don't do that so much, and I'm aware of the results of the actions, so it's not like it doesn't go unnoticed. It goes specifically unnoticed when I ask Zora to do something and she doesn't do it, and then I go back to her and I say, Zora, you didn't help out very much there, and I'm a little bit disappointed. So,
and then to which she says, "Eh."
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with that. I mean, that's her way of expressing the fact that she doesn't like it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I understand that she doesn't like it, and that's okay. It's just part of the process. It would be obviously much better to have a more adult conversation about it, but obviously she's not ready for that yet. So, when she's ready for it, that opportunity will appear. So, I think it's important that she feels okay with expressing herself. That's really important, right?
Yes, it is.
It would be much worse would be if she didn't say anything at all. And I point out to her when when my expectations are not realized that I have for her, which at the end of the day that's my expectations. But I think that it needs to be acknowledged, and I do point it out to her that something is not done. And like you said about watching a film or something yesterday, it's like, okay, if you all tidy up, then you all get to watch a film, and Will does all the tidying up, right? Well, it's like 90+% of it is Will, yeah. And but then, as I pointed out yesterday, you have to balance that with Will gets to watch what he wants to watch, and the girls have to follow that.
Sora loves to watch Flash as well, G.
Wait,
no.
There's a large amount of that is just following her brother. I don't mean it's thoughtless. I mean that it's just the way that it is. Yeah?
She's getting the prize, though. She thoroughly enjoys it.
She would rather have My Little Pony, though.
She is getting the prize for doing nothing.
Yeah, but she's not getting the prize. She's not winning anything.
She's winning a movie time.
No, because the prize is understanding the results of your work.
No, but she knows that she doesn't have the right to choose anyway, because evening is Flash time.
She would have the right to choose if she worked, and
you never communicated that to her.
I've pointed that out to her enough times, not exactly specifically in the evenings, but at other points in time, that you can't expect to get what you want if you don't put in the effort.
Well, maybe if you tell her specifically in the evening, Zora, if you tidy up, you will get My Little Pony or whatever else you choose.
But that's not possible.
I think that would have a different effect.
That's not possible, though. That's creating a problem. That would be the creation of a problem, not a solution. Because you can't have Will wanting to watch something and the girls wanting to watch something else. That would be, you would just end up with a screaming fest. That would just,
Well, they could take turns.
that would not work.
One evening would be for Will, and another evening would be for Zora, and that would work perfectly.
No, I don't think it would. I think that it would work perfectly in your mind, but it's not going to happen like that in reality. It's not real. I mean, in a perfect world, yes, but that's not the world we live in. That's not the situation we
Kids
live in.
can take turns, G.
Not in the way that you suggested. It wouldn't. It would not work because the world is not a perfect place. It would happen that it would become. It would work for about 3 or 4 days, and then it would just become corrupt because, just because the only way to get that right is to have some kind of perfect scheduling or scheduling, and that would be just too much, and you wouldn't be able to keep up with it, and we'd end up inevitably making mistakes, and I wouldn't be focused on it, and would inevitably make mistakes with that. That would just lead to a screaming fest. It would. I guarantee you, if you tried that, you'd last 3 or 4 days, and in the first 2 or 3 days, you'd be like, "This is working perfectly," and then the shit would hit the fan, and you'd wonder why it all doesn't work anymore. It wouldn't work. It's not a sustainable approach because it's an approach that doesn't have the flexibility of balance and understanding of how the children are going to behave in the evening, and it's much better that they go with the flow and follow what it is that Will wants than we try to ensure that they all get their film at whatever time in the evening. It's the wrong time of day to do it. It would create conflicts. It would. Now, there's a possibility that I'm completely wrong about this, but that's what my experience tells me.
But sometimes conflict is inevitable. That's what I mean.
But you don't need to create conflict.
Sometimes conflict is inevitable because by avoiding the conflict, you're doing what's the easiest for you, and the older child suffers for it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is at the end of the day, the children are tired and are not thinking rationally anyway. So you have to realize that a lot of the elements of conflict are irrationality. So you can't go through a rational process when you consider the idea of conflict, because conflict itself is irrational. And then at the end of the day, if you enter the irrational sphere at the end of the day,
it's irrational. Conflict doesn't have to be irrational.
It doesn't have to be, but it is.
But that doesn't make any sense. What you
It
just
does.
said. It doesn't have to be, but it is.
It doesn't have to. Conflict does not have to be irrational, but it is.
What do you mean it is? It's not irrational. Conflict can be perfectly rational.
Let me give you an example of what I mean. You have to understand the duality of the problem.
Right? I have to, do I?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's holistic. So you have to understand the duality. You have to understand that there's two sides. Yeah. Once again, you don't have to, but it is what it is, right? There's the example within
it. What's the it?
Conflict, or the situation, or the point. Okay. So, the point is, conflict does not have to be irrational, but it is by its very nature irrational, because the long term. Zora is trying to throw the phone off the bed. Ah. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to save what's going on? She's trying to throw everything off the bed.
I think she's looking for a way out.
It's going the wrong way. You're on the wrong bus.
Which way?
Up here.
Which way?
Darling.
Which way up?
Grab the cable before she pulls it out. Yeah, up here. That's it. Keep going.
It's one of the reasons why I said she should sleep by herself last night.
That's not a problem. I was like, you're exaggerating. She like moved for 30 seconds there. And now she's fine. She just wanted to get her head out of the bed. So, the ROI of conflict always looks good in the short term, but it's always negative in the long term. Now, you want to take an extreme example of this? War. War is an extreme example of conflict. Now, it always seems like a good idea for the first 6 months, but after it goes on for about 10, 15, 20 years, it's the First World War, Second World War, Vietnam, Mexican drug cartels, blah, 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 whatever example, whatever, wherever. Yeah, it always turns out horribly in the end. So, this idea that conflict is a singular principle, which is right or wrong. It's much more holistic in the sense that you have to be careful of the fact that the principle underlying nature is going to change. It would be much better to exist without the element of conflict, but it's there.
You can't exist without the element of conflict.
That's what I just said.
That's silly.
Yeah, it's a holistic process. Absolutely. It's there's going to be it's going to be good up to a point, and then beyond that point, it's not going to be good. And in the same way, it's going to be really, really bad up to a point, and then beyond a point, it will get better after that. But what was the phrase that you wanted me to explain? You wanted me to. You said that's not logical, and.
Oh, you said that conflict can be rational, but it isn't.
Yeah. Okay. No, I didn't use can. So that
Well,
was
it
not
doesn't
the
have to be irrational, but it is, which is actually the same thing.
So I'm confused by what you want me to explain.
You said conflict doesn't have to be irrational, but it is.
Oh yeah, because you can
Doesn't
look
make
at
sense.
you can look at conflict externally, and you can say that there's some benefit. Okay, let's say two boxers. Yeah. Say two boxers are fighting in a ring. Yeah. Now you can be on the outside, and you can look at that situation, and say, oh look, there's some benefit to those boxers, right? They're going to make money from the fight, right? You can look at it from the outside. Do people make money from boxing matches?
Yes.
Answer, yes. Are the people happy that they make money from the boxing matches?
Probably.
Yes. No, yes, that's why they do it. Right? They wouldn't do it otherwise.
Well, I know
Yeah.
they make money. I don't know if they're happy, but okay, continue.
Well, considering that Floyd Mayweather made $276 million.
Yeah, he can still be
Dollars.
severely depressed and kill himself. So,
Well, and that's the very point that I want to make.
is it
Yes.
good?
It doesn't have to be, but it is. That's the very point. You made specifically the point I want to make. I know you don't understand that because you're looking at me
I
like,
still have no idea what you're talking about.
okay.
I just
I'm
don't
talking
know.
about the duality of holistic principle, where that's a big sigh, like, oh my gosh, you used a term that... no, this is really important to understand, because choosing between right and wrong is based on holistic principles, because it's not black and white. Because there's a grey area, and that's where holistic principles come in. So that's why I give the example of boxing, because it's a really good example of that. It exists in the very, very fundamental principle of parenting, which would be that more time on X is less time on Y. It's just, it exists in life. more time on one thing is less time on another, and you can argue about the advantages and disadvantages of that forever. Like more time spent with one child is less time spent with another, and you can argue about all the advantages and disadvantages because they all exist. It doesn't make them right or wrong; they just exist.
Look, you're just okay. You're getting all abstract.
No, that was a very specific example. That was not abstract at all. That was that was a specific example. The specific example I gave was more time on one topic, more time with one child is less time with another. That was very specific. That was not
You're
abstract.
letting William do all the work because you don't want to create conflict. Is that correct?
No, neither of those statements are correct. Number one, I'm not letting Will do all the work.
Most of the work in the evenings. I stand by Will. 99%. 93% is what you said.
I said 93%.
Yes.
I'll have to go back and listen to this conversation again. I don't remember saying 93%. That's interesting.
Maybe you said 92. I don't remember. 90-something. You said 90-something% of the work.
Yeah, because I didn't say
done by
93 because
Will.
I would never use the number 3 as an example like that. Anyway,
Whatever.
that's a fact. I just
That's
wouldn't
not.
use.
That's not important in this conversation.
Well, go back to the thing that you said that
You are already.
I disagree with.
Go back to the thing that I said that you disagree with.
Yeah,
Well,
you
what
said
did you
two.
disagree with?
You said two statements, and I said they're both wrong.
Yes. Which ones were there?
I can't remember, but they were both wrong because I was like, no, that's not true. And I had example in my head, and the second one you said that's not true. and
Well,
example in
first
my
of those
head wrong.
statements was that you don't want to create conflict. And
Oh no, that was the second
one-
statement. That was definitely the second statement.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter which way they came in. One of the statements was that Will does most of the work, and the other one is you don't want to create conflict.
Okay, I think both of those statements are, or at least both of those statements can be explored, right?
Well,
Number one, can I respond to those statements?
okay.
Okay, let's take the I don't want to create conflict. That absolutely not true in a holistic sense.
Well, you told me in this conversation a few minutes ago that you don't want to create conflict. Of course I don't want to create conflict.
Yeah, you're not listening to me. Do you want me to repeat? I will repeat exactly the same words again.
I don't want you to repeat
I
exactly
didn't-
the same
Yes,
words
because
again.
you
So
don't
hurt them.
understand. You do not understand. Let me explain to you why you don't understand. I do not want to create conflict in a holistic sense. Okay, let me explain what that means. The second part of the sentence is very important. If you take only the first half of the sentence, you do not understand what I am saying. Conflict will exist at some point in some way, and I'm not saying that. I'm not talking about like large conflict. I'm talking about difficult situations. They will exist naturally. I'm not trying to avoid difficult situations, but you don't want to burn yourself trying to do the impossible. Yeah, and at the end of the day, when everyone is tired, there is a greater risk of conflict and confusion and problems. So you have to be aware of that when you make judgments or decisions at that point in time. And so I'm aware of that, and there are times when I let things go and allow Will to do more of the work, and there are times when I don't. But it's definitely not all one or all the other. I mix it up depending upon how the children are acting, reacting, and what kind of emotional state they're in.
I just haven't seen you actually putting the work in.
That's because I make it look effortless.
I just haven't seen you to actually sit down with Zora and help her tidy up. And tell her, Zora, we need to put this there and we need to put that there. Can you please pick that up and put it where it goes? And can I help you with this? And, you know.
Okay. Have I asked Zora if there's anything I can help her with? Yes. Have I asked Zora if there's anything that she needs? Yes.
That's not, but that's, she's not in it.
Isn't that what you just said that I don't do, which I
No,
explained that I do?
no. What I described is not asking her questions. What I described is leading with example.
Yes, I do that constantly.
Let's
It's
do
a consistent
this.
process every day that I do with her. Okay, let me give you an example of that. The most common area for me to tidy and organize is this room that we're in, right?
But that's
Which-
not what I'm talking about, G.
Could you let me finish my explanation of why you're wrong,
Okay.
so that I can give a practical example? So, the most common area that I tidy up and organize is this room. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Which I tidy and organize, I calculate at least 4 times a day.
Okay.
At least 4 times a day I do that. And it happens that Zora is either in here when I'm tidying, or she's one of the causes of why I have to tidy up, because she's made a mess, yeah?
Yes.
And during those processes, number one, she is given the opportunity to help out with tidying things, and number two, she is observing what it is that I'm doing with the tidying up.
Yes, but what I'm saying is she needs guidance with her tidying up.
Okay, and what I'm saying is that
So when you
is
tell,
that the guidance begins with modeling.
but doesn't end there.
Of course not.
That's my point.
Of
okay?
course not.
My
of
point
course
is
the
when you
guidance
tell the
begins with
kids-
modeling, and you're saying you haven't seen me
My
do
point-
it, and
my
I'm saying
point-
that
no, I
there's an
didn't s-
example of me doing it every day.
No, I specifically said that I haven't seen you do something else. Don't tidy up your bloody room. What I'm trying to say is that when you tell the kids to tidy up, you can't just tell them to tidy up and leave it alone. Because of their ages, you have to actually go there and tidy up with Zora and Jasmine, because they are not capable of doing that by themselves. They're just going to sit back and do nothing. That's my point. You actually have to put the work in.
Yeah, which
Yourself.
I do, and I'm
Okay.
very efficient with it. I'm not as I don't devote as much time to it as you do. You devote much more time to it than me, but Zora says, I don't know what to do. And then I say, okay, here's some things that you could do. Put that there, that there, that there, that there, and that there. Those are the things that need to be done. I'm not going to do it for you, because at this stage, at this point, you are big enough to do those things yourself.
Okay, well, if you do that, then that's a positive thing, because
That's
that's
what I
what
do.
she needs. Also, we were talking about conflict, and I wanted you to be aware of the fact that you may not want to create conflict, as in open conflict about who's going to watch what or whatever, but you have to be aware of the fact that you may already be creating a larger underlying conflict by letting things flow the way they're flowing. Because there may be a larger underlying conflict forming, because Will has repeatedly expressed himself, saying that he's unhappy with the situation, that he has to take care of everything a lot of times, and that the girls are not helping him. And he expressed that many times over.
Yes,
and
and
over.
my response
and
to
over
him
and
when
over
he expressed that is that I'm aware of the fact that that is true, and I will try to ensure that he gets some advantages for doing more of the work, and that that there's a situation where it's difficult for everybody, and one of the alternatives, which is unacceptable, is that nobody does anything and nobody gets anything.
That's not
And
even an
everyone is
alternative. Nobody's even, nobody's even come up with it. Why would you even talk about something
Well,
that's
because
more
I've heard you,
negative than
because I've
anything?
heard you specifically say, okay, if everything's not tidy, then nobody gets anything.
Yeah, I always.
Which I've used myself as well.
No, no. Actually, actually, what I say, I may have said it in the past, but I usually correct myself, and explain that whoever is not working is not going to get anything. Okay.
Which
Because I'm not going to say, if I see that Will has tidied up the whole living room, of course I'm not going to say nobody's getting anything. Because that would be wrong. Because he's already tidied up. And I'm aware of that. And most of the time, 99%, when they say something like that, I say, okay, Zora's gonna go to bed because she hasn't done anything.
Yeah, and
that would be more fair. And I say
see,
that
I don't know if that would see.
And I say that
I don't.
if that's after I have tried to help by telling her what to do or by showing her what to do.
Okay, question: is
Okay.
that more fair? Maybe. I'm leaning towards yes. Is that more practical? I'm leaning towards no. Because those are different things.
You've done. My point is that you've done that with Will when he was her age. Right? I mean, you've
that.
said.
What's the that in your sentence?
Well, you've sent Will
is.
to his room or you decided we're not watching or whatever, blah blah blah, because he hasn't done something or because he's been told 3 times not to, I don't know, shuggle or whatever, right?
There's a difference between shuggling and tidying up.
I've seen you doing that with him, and I'm just trying to explain to you that the girls are getting away with things that Will never got away with.
And Will's getting advantages that the girls don't get.
It's not just about age-related things. I'm talking about when he was their age. It's not just about now.
Yeah, and it's natural that it's different.
I know it's natural that it's different, and you have to be aware of it, and you have to try and balance it, because you do not want one child to grow up with resentment, thinking that it's unfair, and then he always has to do more than everybody else, because that is a much bigger conflict than whatever squabbles they can have among themselves.
Yeah, I think that saying that
Okay.
it's resentment that you're going to get.
I'm not talking
Resentment
just
or
about
negative
now, okay? I'm talking about this. I am just warning you that you don't make it a pattern, that you're aware of it, that we don't make it a pattern, that it's not something that is an underlying theme in Will's childhood, okay? And in in Zora's childhood as well, because what's
Okay, what underlying theme are you worried about?
the underlying theme of Will being responsible for everything and having to do more than the girls, and the girls not getting enough responsibility and not having to do as much as well, and getting away with more. Because it's not just being unfair towards Will, but it's also disempowering the girls for the future.
Yeah, I think that I'm aware of that, and I think that there's a certain element or level of that which is natural. I'm not saying good, but I'm just saying it's natural.
Look,
yeah.
catching malaria is natural, right? And you're not just gonna leave it if you do that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but that would require that you're unaware of what's going on, and in these situations, here's the way I see it. If you do more, you're entitled to get more. That's the way I see it, right? And I'm not just talking about the physical element of the work. I'm also talking about, there's the whole psychological aspect of that as well, right? Which would be like, working smart as much as, not less, as much as you work hard, right? And when I see Will do more, I have a tendency to try to ensure that he gets more. No, I'm not. No, wait, no, I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Now you're talking about disempowerment of the girls.
Yes.
I'm getting to that point. So I think by modeling ideas and encouraging the girls to do things, and also by the girls seeing how hard their brother is working to do things, none of those elements are negative. Now, if you want to take one of the girls and try to pretend that she's Will, I'm not saying you're doing that, I'm just using that as a model example, then you're going to end up with a very similar problem, which is it's not about boys and girls, it's about the ages and stages.
I never suggested it's about.
No, I just said that you didn't do that. Okay, I just said I'm using that as an example. I didn't say that you did that.
Well, why are you
okay,
even mentioning it? I mean, that's just not.
Because I want to talk about the ages and stages.
Yes, but that's what I've been talking about ever since the beginning of this conversation.
That Will is at a different age and stage. Well, all the children are at different ages and stages, and it's important to realize that and both to treat them individually and differently, but also at the same time not to tie them to that specific age or stage, because both things are negative holistically, because too much of anything is bad.
Let's go back to the exact thing that we're talking about, rather than saying general statements like too much.
No, I'm talking about ages and stages. I'm specifically in my head, I've got a picture of those, chore charts that children are expected to do. There are certain things that children are expected to help with.
Obviously, I'm not going to. Well, that's what I'm talking about from the beginning. That's why I told you that they all need different help with their tidying up. That what Will can do, Zora can't do by herself yet, and needs help with. I mean, I've pointed that out ever since the beginning. It's not anything new in this conversation. Okay, what I'm trying to point out is that. Why I suggested that maybe they should take turn choosing the movie in the evening is that if you have a system where we only ever watch Will's choice because Will is the one who mainly tidies up, right? You're basically, what you're doing is, or what you're ending up with is Zora feeling comfortable in her position of not tidying up because she thinks, well, I'm not getting a choice anyway in the evening, so what's the point? She's not given the choice, and therefore she doesn't have any motivation to tidy up in the evening. Because it's already a given that we're watching Will's choice.
It's not a given, it's based on the results of actions. I mean, this doesn't happen automatically.
Yeah, but you have to be aware that maybe those actions are determined by the result in her mind.
Yeah, I understand different levels of thinking at different ages, but there would also be a mistake. If there would be an error.
If you gave her a... Look, I know it would be harder to keep track of, right?
It would end up being impossible to keep track of. That's what I'm saying. That's why it would lead to conflict, because the inevitability is the impossibility.
So where are you going to give her choice then? I mean, how are you going to mitigate that imbalance in the evenings?
I wouldn't do it in the evening.
My question is, when and where are you going to mitigate it?
Yeah, it happens already. I do it during the day.
How?
I allow Zora to select what it is that she would like to watch during the day more than Will.
Is it a direct consequence of her doing specific jobs or work?
That's a good question. Sometimes yes and sometimes no. It's not
Okay.
always like that.
Okay.
I would say it depends on what I would call her completing tasks that we ask her to do, which are of benefit to her.
Do you think it would be beneficial to give each of them a certain responsibility to take care of, like regularly? So that they can learn to keep track of things by themselves? Because I was
Well,
wondering whether...
that was something that I suggested to you about 3 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't really something that would be doable back then. Because it would be me doing the most of the work, obviously.
Yeah, well, that I'm saying that's something I suggested to you about 3 years ago, and I think that there are possible positive results and possible negative results from it. I don't know, you know.
Also, you have to remember that 3 years ago, I was the person that had to take care of everything, basically, because you worked a lot out of the home, so... And I had a newborn baby, so it was slightly undoable for me back then.
Yeah, I get the fact that different times make different things possible and impossible. I'm just saying that it was a suggestion that I brought up at that point in time. And I think that it's not really dependent upon is it good or is it bad. It's dependent upon how it works at the time. Which is a mixture of your intention, it's how you present it, it's the time of the day, it's how people react, it's whatever else is happening in the environment, it's part of the smaller picture and the bigger picture at the same time. Could it have a positive effect? Yes. Could it have a negative effect? Yes.
What kind of negative effect could it have?
Well, the 4 quadrants of
Universe.
consequences.
No, I have no idea what 4 quadrants of consequences are.
Okay, the 4 quadrants of consequences are what you know that you know, what you know that you don't know, what you don't know that you know, and what you don't know that you don't know. Those are the 4 quadrants. Okay, why are you throwing the ball away?
I just wanted to throw out the curtain and see it roll down.
Don't. Do you notice this room is warmer this morning? Because
No.
I turned on the radiator
Okay,
so that we'd be warmer.
that's good.
Otherwise you'd be freezing your ass off.
Well, I'm in bed,
So-
so I wouldn't. But
The
thank
quadrants of consequences, right? You have to.
And your point is?
Well, you have to understand that before you can answer the question of, if things are going to be good or
Yeah, it's
bad.
quite self-explanatory.
Yes, good. Well, you asked. You want some water, darling? You want to come up here and cuddle?
Green spiky ball.
You want my green spiky
You
ball?
want the green spiky ball? Oh, naturally.
I've lost my green spiky ball.
There you go. There's nothing quite like a green spiky ball.
Oh gosh. One day when I'm retired, I'm gonna have a green spiky ball all for myself.
I can give you a room full of green spiky balls and padded walls as well.
I'm gonna need them by
and
the
a nice
time
big
I'm
door
old.
with a heavy lock on it.
I'm going to need them with my 3 kids.
And a white suit.
My grandchildren are going to love me. Because everybody loves the crazy granny.
No, the crazy granny thinks everybody loves the crazy granny. That's the difference.
No, I'm gonna be the good kind of crazy. I'm not going to be the bad kind of crazy.
Oh
that,
yeah, because
loses
people
it.
plan to be the bad kind of crazy. You don't plan to be the bad
No,
kind of
I'm not
crazy.
gonna
It
be
just
the-
happens.
No, No, I'm not going to be the bad kind of crazy that loses it when people do something that they don't like and she throws plates at them or something. I'm going to be the good kind of crazy that goes out and swims in the swimming pool in her pajamas and pours bubble bath into the swimming pool to make lots of bubbles and.
Do you know that those are not good things? You know that, right?
They're fun things.
No, it's not fun for the people in the swimming pool that some crazy batshit old woman jumps in the pool with her pajamas in a bubble bath.
It's going to be
Lotion.
my swimming pool. It's not going to be public swimming pool. It's going to be my swim. It's going to be my jacuzzi. I'm going to have a
fucking what
jacuzzi.
now? What?
I'm going to have a jacuzzi when I'm old. And I'll pour bubble bath in it.
I'm gonna have 7 fucking samurai.
No, you're
And they're
not.
gonna beat the shit out of your jacuzzi.
I'm going to have green spiky balls and I'll throw them at your samurai.
And they'll just bounce off.
Yeah. But
My
they'll
samurai-
spike them to death.
No, my samurai are going to be indestructible.
You're not gonna have samurai because you're going to be poor. Because you're not a translator. I'm going to be a translator.
You're not gonna have a fucking job because the AI is gonna take it all away. And then you
AI.
won't have any
Sounds
fucking
something
work at all.
Scottish. AI. AI. Sounds like a Scottish word.
People are gonna be replaced by robots, and the only job that people are gonna have is serving the robots. That's what's gonna happen.
Said Devo there.
Hello? Devo, wasn't he like some kind of pop rock musician?
No, I'm just going to call you Devo.
Devo-
Enlighten us.
What?
Enlighten us, Devo.
You're yeah.
Have you not watched The Flash
You've
yesterday?
just turned into that batshit crazy old woman right now.
Have you not watched The Flash yesterday?
No,
That's
no,
what
I didn't.
Devo
I
was
was
about. Devo wants to enlighten the entire world because technology is bad and is taking over everybody's lives. So he decided to send up satellites and lower everybody's IQ and remove technology from the world.
I'm sure he's not the first person to have that idea.
Well, there you go. But he's got superpowers.
What?
Anyway. Yeah. It's a bit scary.
Which cartoon had the line in it? The power of good is on his side. That's bugging me now. 'Cause,
What are you talking about?
I don't know. The Flash got me thinking about cartoons and superheroes, and I got in the back of my mind. I got this kind of theme song or theme tune from some superhero kind of cartoon, and there was a line in it. The power of good is on his side.
I
and
don't know. It's going to be some Western Bloc thing.
The power of good is on his side.
I don't know. We watched Linda Vespremio when I was that age. She was a Hungarian karate woman. Or was it Kung Fu? Not sure.
What?
She was a Hungarian policewoman who beat
Yeah.
everybody up with her
Yeah.
Kung Fu.
At least it wasn't a fucking kung fu dog, which is probably the next thing that's going to happen.
What?
People are so obsessed with animals that.
I mean, they're obsessed with animals.
They are. People are obsessed with animals. It's a fact of reality. Look at social media. You
mad.
post an animal on social media and you get 10 times more likes than you do of anything else. Yeah.
Because
this came
animals
out-
are nice.
What?
Because animals are nice.
I'd say that to a gorilla that's ripping your arm off, right? Or a tiger that's chewing through your tibula or fibula or whatever.
There's no such thing as tibula.
He didn't know what it was called.
It's tibia
Tibia.
and fibula.
Are they sisters?
Yes.
What?
You
Tibia.
know, animals are awesome.
Tibula. I thought.
What do
it
you have
sounded
against
weird.
animals? Animals are awesome.
What?
Animals
No,
are beautiful and wonderful and need to be protected and helped.
Yes, and Facebook is now going to have a talent show for animals, right?
Yes.
It's going to be called
Yippee!
Talentimals, or Annalent, or Annie Talent, or just no talent.
Ellie almost sounds like a town show for elephants.
A town for elephants. That's a good idea. It would have to be big with big doors, so that all the elephants could fit through. Yes. You okay?
Yeah.
Are you enjoying
She's
playing with the
frustrated.
ball? No, she's not. She's loving playing with the spiky ball.
Mm.
More green spiky balls. Green spiky balls for president.
I'm cooking goulash
Progress.
tomorrow.
Oh, you're doing the goulash.
I'm so
And
enthusiastic about it.
And those two people that Mum mentions like best friends, who I have no idea who they are.
Angela and Barry. I don't know who they are either. I don't think I've ever met them. I
but
probably
you know
have,
them,
but
they're
I
from the
wouldn't
car club.
remember. Of course.
You know, Angela and Barry from the car club.
Of course, it's Angela and Barry from the car club. Yes. I've
Yes.
probably been introduced to them about 7 times, but I
Yeah.
have no idea who
I
they are.
imagine they're. I'm going to make a bet. I'm going to make a bet that they're really small. Okay.
It's like it matters.
It does, because it humors me. It humors me the
When
size.
people are small.
Yes, because their lives must be difficult.
What?
Well, people who are small, their lives must be
I
difficult.
don't think you ever said anything more ridiculous.
Look, small people, don't be smallest, prejudiced against small people, or whatever the fuck the word is.
Yeah, that's what
right?
you're doing.
Small people have their problems just like everybody else. Okay. The world must be difficult for small people.
Well, the
I mean,
world
everything
must be
big.
difficult for tall people too, because they keep bumping their heads. I mean,
Well, I
the
bump my head on the door every time I come in
life must be
downstairs.
difficult for brown-haired people because they can't dye their hair pink easily enough
can.
without bleaching.
Well, if you're
right?
small and you've got brown hair, then I mean,
My
that's
God,
terrible.
that's terrible.
Yeah, exactly. So life must be difficult for small people.
And if you're left-handed, oh God, you've just won the
I
lottery,
mean, imagine
right?
if you're on the train, you can't see out the window. Or
Can you imagine you're small, left-handed, and brown-haired? Oh
imagine
God.
you need a ladder to climb a ladder.
Imagine you're French as well.
What?
It's really hard to be French
And
too.
small.
And small,
At the same
and
time.
brown-haired, and left-handed.
And
Can you imagine?
and lesbian.
Oh my God! Can you imagine you're a small French brown-haired, left-handed lesbian?
No. No, I can't. Because I wouldn't want to be.
Oh my God!
No, I can't. See, I wouldn't want to be. And you know,
Yeah, I know. Of course you wouldn't want to be, because it's really difficult to be small. I mean, you could always deal with all the other things, but being small is just really hard.
well, yeah, because everything just gets bigger, right?
God help me! I think we should finish.
Everything just gets bigger. Oh, except there would be one advantage. You can buy kids' clothes.
And you can hide in the trunk.
What trunk? The elephant's trunk.
Any trunk.
What? You can hide if you're so small. You can hide in the elephant's trunk. That's really fucked up.
Any trunk, really. When
What?
you play hide and seek with Zora, you could hide in the trunk and she wouldn't find you.
Yes, she would. She'd hear you moving around.
No, she wouldn't, because you
What?
would stop moving.
Oh, no, that wouldn't work because you'd have to move eventually because it would be cramped and uncomfortable.
Look, I'm falling asleep here.
What?
What's the time?
Drink coffee. I made coffee for you.
I
Drink it.
drank it.
What?
It's 7:51. So we've
Already?
been at it for an hour and a half.
At it.
Uh-huh.
What?
I need to work now. I need to
What?
work a job that actually pays money now.
Well, there you go.
The coffee. There was still 2 gulps left.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm. It was. It's not anymore.
Are you training today?
I'm going to let you wake the kids up because I did it yesterday. And I
Okay.
will let you get the kids ready for the football.
Except that I'm already waked up already.
Yeah, you're
You're
already
already
waked
waked up. Absolutely.
That's good. That's easier for Dad. And I am going to, it is 7:51, so 8 o'clock, I've got time till 8 till 9, right? So I'm going to work from 8 till 9, and then I'll sort myself up, and we can and we can leave around 9:15, 9:20. And then I'm going to, the kids are going to play football, you're going to take Jasmine to the library, I'm going to the gym, then the kids will come from football.
Muesli for breakfast.
It's a Muesli day today.
It's tomorrow.
Muesli day is Sunday. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow is Muesli day.
Anyway, then the kids will come from football training to the library, join you there, wait, you will all wait for me to finish exercising, and then we will go home and have lunch.
What can you have?
What other breakfast are you going to make for them? Me.
I don't know. Would you like fruit with yogurt? Yeah, okay. That's
Oh,
cool.
there's plenty of yogurt because I bought some yesterday. There's also creme fraiche if you want to mix it up a bit. And then after we come home and have had lunch, I am going to work some more because I have 2 extra translations to finish this weekend, and I have to catch up on what I haven't finished yesterday, and that's it. That's what I'm doing today, and I'll be working until the evening, and that's it.
That's smashing. Have you moved your mic?
I don't know. No, not consciously. It may have moved its position at some point. And then
My tummy. I'm hungry.
Was it your tummy
tomorrow.
making a noise?
That was from. Oh, there it is again.
Oh.
Again.
And tomorrow I'm waking up early
Mhm.
and I am working again from morning till whenever I get to work until, I guess, until the kids wake up. And
Look, sign.
then I have to cook the goulash and bake the buns. And after that, I have to work some more in the evening.
That's a rock falling.
We should take the kids out at some point during the day tomorrow as well. That's my plan for the weekend. Work, 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 work.
And then cook.
And cook. And tidy up and work some more.
And exercise somewhere in the middle.
And I have to finish the 2 translations by the end of tomorrow, because then on Monday I have to start on the regular job. And then the next weekend I have another translation, which is the manual for a jump starter machine for a car. Which is going to be
What?
fun. You know the jump starting things? Where
Oh,
you
the
charge batteries and jump start them. Well, at least that's what I
Yeah.
think it is. It's a big bloody thing on wheels. So
it's called a car.
I think it's no, the jump starting thing. I think it's something that's used in garages to do these things. Anyway, so that I have to do that the weekend after, and after that is the regular job again. So I haven't got any plans for the weekend after yet.
Well, it's terrible.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely terrible.
Yeah. Oh, and this weekend at some point.
Oh.
I already see that's not gonna get done. But at some point, no, it's gonna have to get done. I have to fill in the application form for the housing.
Dun, dun, dun.
Plus, I have to fill in the application form for the child benefits. And there is something else I needed to do. I forgot. I have to check my taxes in Slovakia and see if I have deregistered from the tax office or not, because I can't remember whether I've done it or not. And I need to do the invoicing because I never have time to do the invoicing during the week. But I don't think I'm gonna have the time during this weekend either. But it has to be done. Would you like to do my invoicing for me? They think that's a no. Yeah.
That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
I'm going to employ you.
That's fine.
I should employ you.
That's fine. You'll probably find somebody cheaper on Fiverr, though.
Oh no, I'm gonna employ you to clean up.
Why, thank you very much. That's very kind of you.
How much do you take for babysitting?
I'd prefer not to sit on babies.
No.
I'll look after them, though.
My God, you're so picky. You're
What?
never gonna make any money if you're so picky about your jobs.
Picky and choosy. Picky and choosy. Those are my middle names.
Picky and choosy.
Picky and choosy.
Graham William Picky and choosy Hendrey.
That would be Graham Picky William Choosy Henry. That's how I would do it.
Oh. Okay. Graham Picky and William Choosy. Sounds like you're two people. Graham Picky and William Choosy.
Picky and choosy. Picky and choosy are the same thing. You've lost. You okay down there? You were lying on a.
Did you find it?
You were lying on a special card that
No.
with
It is a
hearts
special card.
that you made for Daddy. I think. Do you make
Oh
that
my
for Daddy?
gosh, did you see what Jasmine did the other day? She actually wrote Dad. Did she show it to you? I
Oh
thought
yes, she came
shared
through
it.
here and she gave it to me and she said I wrote Dad on a piece of paper, and then Zora looked at it and went, "That says I."
No, but she actually did write the word Dad on that paper. All by herself, without anybody's help or without copying it. Am I the only person who finds it amazing?
She's super smart, though. Super smart. Parents produce super smart kids.
I'm not super smart, that's why I'm shocked.
No, but I am.
No, you're not.
No, seriously. She must get it from somewhere. If she doesn't get it from you, she must get it from me.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
You think?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
That's the way it works?
Uh-huh. That
Uh,
must be.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the way it works. I think that she's obviously been observing. And
100 minus 100 plus something.
are you alright?
I'm reading the sum there.
Yeah. It's what is this, darling?
That's a bicycle.
Exercising bicycle.
It's it's weights and training. She's drawn a picture of the weights and the training.
Oh, wow.
These are the weights, right? And that's the exercise bicycle.
And
I
what's
don't
the 100
think
minus
we-
100 thing?
Just a puzzle.
It's just a puzzle.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't even know either.
Oh,
And
look,
what are
there's a
these?
flower with a face in it. That's cool.
Happy face.
It's a happy face.
Yeah, what are these?
Mm.
The white toots are behind the
Oh,
one
the
more to
black ones.
put on near.
Wrists and
All
ankles.
right. And it says Zora loves Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, you can read it both ways, right? 'Cause it's-
Dad loves Zora loves Dad.
or did you read it from the middle outwards?
Zora's in the middle, loved by Dad from each side.
There you go. She's the center of the universe.
Where's the I love Mom love letter? How come Dad gets all the love letters?
Because
How come I never get a love letter?
because I don't know. Because Zora loves Dad. Zora loves Dad. That's why. Love letter, go get her, as Nick Cave would say.
I want a love letter as well.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'll send you one in the post.
I don't want one from you.
Oh.
Your love letter is gonna.
Okay.
Your love letter is gonna read something like, "I love you because you're very efficient."
No, that would just be bullshit.
Okay, I love it because you're trying to be very efficient even though you're failing at it constantly.
Wait.
Yeah, that would be my motivational love letter.
Yes.
Wait, I almost sat on that.
Your love letter would be something like, "You suck. Get better."
No, that would be demotivational.
Yeah.
Um,
You could suck slightly less if you did more. That would be your motivation.
You're just talking to your alter ego there. Or something. I'm not sure what that's about. Oh well, less is more, right?
Right. No, it's not.
No, but it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No.
You don't understand.
Less is
more.
actually less.
No, less is more.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. It's not one of those basic mathematical principles.
Yes, less. You have to get your head around it. Less is more.
No, it's actually not.
Less cigarettes, more health.
Well, I'll just take all the money from you then and tell you that now you've got more, right?
No, you would have more and I would have less. So less for me is more for you, right? That's how that works out. Less is more.
I'm gonna shave your head and tell you less is more. Now you actually have more hair.
Well, what's the point in shaving something that's already shaved? What's the point?
It's not shaved, it's trimmed.
What?
It's trimmed, it's not shaved.
What? I shave my head.
No, you don't.
That's not true. No. What?
But they still.
What is that machine called? It's not called a fucking trimmer. It's
Yes,
called
it
a
is.
shaver.
No, it isn't. It's not a shaver.
It is a shaver.
It's not. Shaver is the thing that has those 3 circles, and that gives you a
No,
clean shape.
no,
Yes.
absolutely not.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Next
head
time,
was
next time we go
shaved-
into in any kind of shop that's got those devices, I'm going to pull you into that department, and I am going to read the label on the front of those devices, which
Okay.
says shaver in
Okay.
big letters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does not say trimmer. It's not a fucking lawnmower. Okay. So
It is.
it's not.
It's a miniature lawnmower, and it trims your hair to the length of about 2 millimeters.
It shaves.
It doesn't give you a clean shave. Your
Well,
head
it's
is
not
not.
as close as a blade,
Your head is not
but you don't want to
shiny. You know what I mean?
Don't want a fucking shiny head. I'll just blind people as I'm driving down the road.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm gonna shine your head, and then tell you less is more.
If you're not careful, I'm gonna shine your head, mate.
I'm gonna
doesn't sound-
shine your head good.
Ah, give him a right shining. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
and this number 1 looked like it's about to attack this.
Oh, okay.
To get to that 0.
Oh, okay. There's a bit of a battle going on there between the numbers. I get it.
Right. If I am to realize my plan, I have to finish this beautiful, wonderful
Shiny.
almost,
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
point. What's the opposite of pointless? Pointful?
This one
Purposeful,
called the
useful.
I'm gonna have to finish this almost useful recording
What?
to
Point.
go and do something.
There's lots of point to this.
But
But
that's
it
why I used the opposite word, right?
What?
That's why I asked you for the opposite
Of
pointless.
useful.
Yes.
Also, pointful would be quite practical
Also more logical.
if
But
it,
that's
if it
English for you.
existed. Yeah.
Yes. I'm
It
gonna
was
have to
very
finish this
pointful,
almost pointful recording.
strategic. Yeah. There's a word. What?
Slightly exaggerated. Ooh, the recording was very strategic.
Yeah, in a business sense. That's what they would say. We had several strategic meetings. I would just be like, they were useful then. Yeah, sure.
Well, what do I know about business?
No, you're always busy though.
Oh shit.
There you go. So you must know a lot.
I know a lot about busyness.
There you go. Is that near Inverness?
Yes.
Is it between Inverness and Loch Ness?
No. So
No.
it's between Inverness and Aberdeen. It's on the north coast. It's near Kingston.
Why is it called Aberdeen and not Aberness?
Because it's Aber the River Dee.
Is that what it says on the sign? Welcome to Aber, the River Dee.
No, it's Aberdeen because upon the River Dee.
There's two rivers.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a D in the Don.
Well, it could have been Aberdon.
It could have been. But for some reason they...
Yeah, but if you put D and Don together, you end up with Dean.
What?
If you take D and
you-
Don and put them together, you end up with Dean.
No, you end up with D-Don. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yes, but you try to blend them,
What?
not just add them.
Well, they would just be silly to have a place called Aberdeen.
Exactly. But people would think it's a song.
Well, every place in Scotland sounds like a
Aberdeen dun 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 dun.
shabadoo wap 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 badoo badoo.
Every place in Scotland sounds like a song.
Backwards.
Specifically, aha.
Ardnamurchan.
Yeah.
It sounds like a bad mushroom, right?
I tell you, half the towns in Scotland and villages sound like
Excuse me, Mom.
you're choking on something. Yeah.
That's actually a
I feel
place.
like I'm on flower. Here.
You feel like you're on fire because you're full of energy and ready to go.
It's because you're sitting in between two hot people.
Thanks.
What?
Thanks. What a nice compliment.
So this hand feels
You
like
don't have
it's
to take
on
it.
fire.
Yeah.
What?
This
Yeah.
hand feels like it's on fire.
What's the other hand feel like?
Oh, nothing really.
Nothing. Can you still feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
This hand is on fire.
That's not a song.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
No?
It's not.
It could be.
It's not a song any
should be.
more than
Oh,
there's a
is
song
a
called.
word.
That's not quite as bad as Moss Todloch.
That's really weird.
Where's the fucking loch then, eh? Hey, you tell me, where's the loch?
Where's the moss?
Moss, where's the
Plenty of-
moss?
there's plenty
Moss
of moss.
Todd Loch. Where's the fucking loch then, eh?
Where's the fucking toad?
Yeah.
Dad, can you move your arm? I'm trying to light
The names of places around here. Voggelbers. I mean, what on earth are Voggelbers?
It probably means something.
I'm a Vogelber. Who are you?
Well, you know, they're bastardizations of the old Scots, so...
What?
They're bastardizations
Who
of the,
bastardized old Scots?
the English. Of course.
When did they do that to them?
Well, look, the original name of this village,
Hmm?
I believe, according to history, was Geirmeich. Yeah, which, don't fucking laugh.
Sounds even better. Yes.
Yeah, sounds like a nasal spray. Right.
Sounds like a sneeze.
And then the English came here, and the English, they couldn't even speak English, and they were like, yeah, the same way they say Fotchebers instead of Fockabers. They couldn't. They were like, well, there's a river here, so it makes sounds like mouth, so we'll call it Garmouth.
Mm-hmm.
So the Geirmeich, which nobody knows what that meant in Gaelic, became Garmouth. And Kingston was obviously the king's town,
Mm-hmm.
because you needed a special license from royal authority in order to have a sort of industry of any kind. Which
Also, it's a very unoriginal name, isn't it?
what?
Kingston.
Um,
It's like any other town could be called Kingston.
well, yeah, any other town. Darling, this is what we're using to record our podcast right now. It's not a toy, so... where did you put your ball? Play with that. Where is
This
it?
one?
Give her ball back.
It's my ball.
Play with that.
It's my ball.
What?
It's my ball.
Eyeball.
It's my eyeball.
Is that like an iPhone?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. The Apple computer still doesn't work anyway, because Apple are surrender monkeys.
Okay. Gotta go. Gotta go so that we can make it to Mustadloch.
We're not going to Mr. Luck.
Where are we going? Vogelbeurs.
Fotchebers.
Fuckabers.
No.
Is that what you should? That's what you should pronounce it.
Are you okay?
That's what Americans would pronounce it.
No, and the Americans can't speak English, so they wouldn't know how to pronounce it.
Yes, they can speak English.
They just call every place Whiskey Tune. In the American accent. American accent, Whiskey Tune!
They can't say tune.
What?
They can't say tune
No?
in American English, no. They can't say the
What about cartoon?
sound ooh. I don't know, they probably say something ridiculous. Like chips.
No, don't be ridiculous.
Hamburger. They say hamburger for everything they can't pronounce.
What? What?
It's Americans. Americans and hamburgers. They go together.
No, hot dogs and hamburgers, they go together.
It's what comes to your mind first when you say Americans, right?
Fat people.
It's like, play the association game.
Fat people.
Does baguette,
Hamburgers.
does
There you go.
baguettes come from Paris?
They come
Yes.
from France.
Yes, darling, they come from France. Huh?
Yes. They're female bags.
You can't say fat people for Americans because you've got fat people everywhere,
But there's more of them in America.
especially in Britain.
I'm not even going to go down that road today, because if I told you what I observed this week, you would be like, not again. But,
Yes, there is a lot, but there's also a lot of very, very conscious people because I'm in those groups on Facebook, in the keto groups, and there's a kid keto group, and there's a clean keto group, and I'm in all of them, and they're actually very good. And there's lots and lots of people in those groups that have kids, and they are reversing all the damage they've done, and they are
Why
all...
did they do damage in the first place?
Because they didn't know any better, because people learn. Because that's how people learn. And so they're all improving their eating habits, and their kids are all losing weight and gaining health, and everybody's happy, and then it's all positive and good and great and awesome, and people are doing something about it. A lot of people.
Good. Good for them.
Yes, yes. So it's very positive.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very happy for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's time to glow.
Yes.
It's time to shine.
No.
It's time to rise and grind.
Oh, shut up. Shut up with
Well,
your
you're so full of
grinding.
positivity this morning. Wow.
But rise and grind is not exactly positive, is it?
To eat.
It's a fun thing. It's a fun thing. Food.
Grinding is fun thing. When's the last
Yes.
time you ground anything?
Pepper yesterday.
Was it fun?
It was great. I enjoyed it very much.
Well, next time I'm grounding meat. Grinding?
Okay, this girl needs food, so we have to finish this.
I don't know, darling. Daddy's doing breakfast today.
Okay, Daddy's going to eat breakfast again.
Have fun while doing that.
Okay, I will. Say bye to the people.
Proud of the people. There's bacon in the fridge. You can make bacon for them.
Bacon. I can make
don't
bacon.
want bacon.
She doesn't want bacon. There we go. Dun dun dun. 5, 4,
Oh, just
3,
turn it off
2,
already.
1.